Now we continue with the visual diagnosis, inspection, the body shape according to 5 elements, part 2. Next, we have the water type. Observation, people of the water type have a relatively dark complexion, wrinkles, a relatively big head, a round face and body, broad cheeks, narrow and small shoulders, and a large abdomen. They keep their body in motion while walking and find it difficult to keep still. They have a long spine. The water type is sympathetic and slightly laid back. They're good in negotiators and loyal to their work colleagues. They are aware and sensitive. So here is an example of a water type, the face and body. So a picture of a water type body and face. Sa clinical significance, people of the water type are often in relatively good health in autumn and winter, but not in spring or summer, when they may suffer diseases from invasion of external pathogenic factors. Quotations from the classics, chapter 64 of the spiritual axis says, people of the water type corresponds to Shang Yu of the note Yu, which is one of the 5 notes and is related to the water element. Their complexion similar in color to that of the Black Emperor, who was one of the heavenly emperors and represent North. They have a relatively dark complexion, wrinkled face, a big head, broad cheeks, small shoulders, and a large abdomen. Their hands and feet are seldom at rest, and their body quivers while walking. They have a long spine. They like autumn and winter and dislike spring and summer. The chapter keys to the 4 diagnostic methods in the Golden Mirror of Medicine says, people of the water type corresponds to the color purple, and their complexion is best when it possesses luster. Their face is fat and uneven, just as the sea's surface is vast and rolling with waves. They have the so-called 5 kinds of fatness, just as water is wide. They have the so-called 5 kinds of tenderness, mirroring the moistness of water. They have the so-called 5 kinds of smoothness, resembling the clear nature of water. With a fat body build, people of the water type tend to have a mobile body when they walk, mirroring the flowing movement of water. This kind of people have no respect for anybody, nor do they fear. Like water, they always run at a lower place. They pretended to be humble, but actually tend to be deceivers. Water too feels empty and lacking a solid structure. So summary, water type, dark complexion, wrinkly skin, large head, broad cheeks, narrow shoulders, large abdomen, long spine. Summary of the 5 element types. Sa element, the wood, physical appearance, long face, tall and sinewy body. Personality, intelligent, prone to worry, hard worker, versatile. Sa fire element, the physical appearance is red complexion, pointed chin, curly hair, small hands, walk fast. Personality, quick, energetic, active, thinks too much, tendency to worry, good spirit of observation. Next, the earth element, physical appearance is yellowish complexion, round face, big head, wide jaws, large abdomen, strong thighs, walk without lifting feet. Personality, calm, generous, steady, not overly ambitious. Next, sa metal, the physical appearance is pale complexion, square face, flat abdomen, strong voice, walks slowly and deliberately. Personality is a keen thinker, honest, upright, quiet, calm, rational, aptitude for leadership. So water, the physical appearance is dark complexion, wrinkles, big head, round face and body, broad cheeks, large abdomen, long spine. Personality, sympathetic, laid back, good negotiator, loyal, sensitive. Now we go to the clinical application of the 5-element types. The first thing to note is that very few people will display all the characteristics of a pure element type, as there will always be deviations from the ideal type caused by life influences. For example, the wood type would have a tall and slender body. However, if they overeat, they may develop a large abdomen. It is important, therefore, when evaluating an element type, to take into account all physical and behavioral characteristics of the patient. In the above example, if we drew a conclusion only from observation of the large abdomen, we might wrongly conclude that the person is an earth type. Vice versa, an earth type should have a relatively large abdomen and large thighs. However, if they lose weight due to a serious disease such as cancer, they may not have a large abdomen and thighs, and we should pay attention to all the other physical characteristics. Each element type should have a strong point, and weakness in that area indicates a poor prognosis. For example, the wood type would have a strong sinews. If they do not, it indicates a possible illness. The fire type should walk fast, and their strong point should be the heart and blood vessel. For the fire type to walk slowly indicates a potential problem. The earth type should have a strong muscles. If they do not, it indicates a weakness in the stomach and spleen and a tendency to rheumatism. The metal type should walk slowly and deliberately, and their voice should be strong. If they walk fast and their voice is weak, it indicates a potential problem. The water type should have a strong kidneys and may easily suffer from overindulgence in sexual activity. The strong points of element types: the wood has strong sinews, the fire, strong heart and blood vessels, the earth, strong muscles, metal, strong voice, the water, strong kidneys. Next, each person should be observed carefully and their element type assessed so that deviations from the type can be noted. If a person has a certain trait which is unrelated to their particular type, the prognosis is worse than if the trait represents an exaggeration of a trait that is normal for that type. For example, the fire type should walk fast. If they walk too fast, it is not so bad as a metal type walking fast, as the metal type should walk slowly and deliberately. Another example, if a fire type has too loud a voice, it is not so bad as another type having a loud voice. Finally, the prognosis is better if a person of a certain element type suffers from a disharmony in the same element rather than in another element. For example, it is better for a wood type to suffer from a disharmony in this, for example, liver qi stagnation rather than in another element, for example, lung qi deficiency, heart fire, spleen yang deficiency, or kidney yin deficiency. So we have here a table, body type and bearing. Tall, thin body, fairly broad shoulders, strong and straight back. The face is wood. Green, the characteristic hard worker, tendency to overthink or worry. Strength, bones, and sinews. Body type and bearing, small pointed head or pointy chin, curly hair, or little hair, small hands, walk fast. The face is fire. Color is red. The characteristics quick, energetic, active, tend to be unconcerned about material wealth, fond of beauty, have short lives. The strength is blood, vessels, and blood. Next, sa body type and bearing, broad and square shoulders, triangular white face, strong built body, walk slowly and deliberately. That is the metal phase. The color is white. The characteristic is meticulous, rational, independent, strong-willed, a capable leader and manager. The strength is lungs and voice. Next, the body type and bearing: large head and rounded body, large abdomen, strong thighs and wide jaws, walk without lifting feet. That is the face of Earth. The color is yellow. The characteristics: calm and generous, not very ambitious, good interpersonal skills. The strength is the muscles. Next phase is water. The body type and bearing is round face and body, long spine. The color is soft white. The characteristic is sympathetic and slightly lazy, loyal to their work colleagues, aware, sensitive, and sometimes psychic. The strength is digestive system. Okay. Long-term changes in physical appearance. Long-term changes are usually related to the constitution of the individual, the condition of congenital essence and acquired essence. Letter A, the weight, fatness, and thinness can reflect the relative exuberance or deliberation of the yin, yang, qi, and blood of the body. Generally speaking, the obese patient will have excessive phlegm, while the thin patient will have abundant fire. So we have here the body form. For the overweight, obese, moves slowly. The indication is phlegm, damp, accumulation with qi deficiency. For the underweight, the body form is thin and dry, body muscles are emaciated. Indication: qi and blood deficiency or yin deficiency with fire. Next is emaciation, body form, muscles are emaciated, bones are thin, skin is dry and shriveled, muscles have wasted away. Indication: critical condition, qi and essence exhausted, sunk organ failure. Letter B, the height, tallness and shortness can reflect the condition of the congenital and acquired essence. One must also remember to compare normal height and weight to the genetic pool from which the observed patient comes. For the tall, the body form is tall and strong, indication sufficient essence. For the short, the body form is short, delayed development, indication insufficiency of congenital or acquired essence. Inspection of the body height, and that is the infection of the body height and its indication. Next, we go to the deformation, joints, spine, or other parts of the body structure. Usually indicates congenital insufficiency and or poor nourishment after birth, and manifest as spleen, kidney depletion, and softness of the bones. Short-term changes in physical appearance are usually related to the pathological changes in the body. Changes are the result of a struggle between pathogenic factors and anti-pathogenic qi. The short-term changes reflect the condition of the sangpo organs. Letter A, we have the swelling. It is the enlargement due to the accumulation of water, blood, or pus. Sa edema, subcutaneous retention of fluid, which leads to puffiness of the head, face, eyelids, limbs, abdomen, or even the whole body. It usually happens bilaterally but can also be unilateral. Swelling, to grow larger, to dilate or extend the exterior surface or dimension. Usually happens unilaterally or just local areas with pain or skin color change. Occasionally may arise bilaterally. The pathomechanism, the pathogenesis of swelling is due to the dysfunction of water metabolism, organ disorders, or obstruction caused by blood stasis or phlegm accumulation. So we have the pathogenesis of edema and swelling. We have the lungs disperses or descends. The spleen transforms and transports. Kidney provides essential heat. The yang. The bladder transforms qi. The trifold burner regulates water passages. The phlegm and blood stasis obstructs local qi and body fluid circulation. So we have here the dysfunction of the water metabolism, causing edema and swelling. Symptoms and indication for the swelling, usually unilateral or highly localized with pain and change in skin color. Indications, blood stasis or phlegm stagnation. For the edema, the symptoms is abrupt onset, starts from the upper portion of the body, puffy face and eyelids. There is a slow onset usually found in the lower portion of the body. For the indication, there is a wind damp attack and spleen and or kidney yang deficiency. Okay. Next, we joint deformities. It is a joint shape changes characterized by swelling with or without redness, deformity, and limited range of motion, accompanied by short soreness, pain, numbness, and heavy sensations. The pathomechanism when bone loses strength, joint deform. Kidney governs the bone, so kidney deficiency is the major cause of joint deformities. Healthy bones need the nourishment of qi, blood, and marrow. If qi, blood, or marrow is insufficient, the bones can weaken and cause joint deformities. There are two causes for qi, blood, or marrow deficiency. One is pathogenic pain, cold, or damp invasion which obstruct the channels and collaterals. The second is a sangfu organ deficiency, especially of the kidney. Here we have the pathogenesis of joint deformity. The pathogenic wind, cold, and damp invades channels and collaterals, so there is qi and blood obstructed. This one transforms into heat, doesn't transforms. The one that transforms into heat, there is swelling with redness. And the one that doesn't transform into heat, swelling without redness. If there's a kidney deficiency, there is a deformed joint. Next, the swelling deformity and their indications. For the swelling symptoms, one or multiple joints with redness, there's damp heat or wind damp heat. If there is, usually involves lower limb, bilateral, swollen without redness, so there is damp or cold damp. For the deformity, usually involves multiple small joints on the hands and feet. So the indication, kidney deficiency with cold damp. Thank you for your attention.